Maximum city, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi.
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show.
breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I don't know songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. I'm too busy, baby, making plans on how to get me one of them manly men. All I want is a touch of love. I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views,
We bring you stories that matter.
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum city, Mumbai,
To the seat of power, Delhi.
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show.
breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024.
Hello everyone, this is The Last Word and I'm Maria Shakil. The murder of Baba Siddique, an influential politician who was part of the coalition government of Maharashtra, has sent shockwaves across the country. But first up, here's the latest in the investigation. Police have arrested the fourth accused, Harish Kumar, a 23-year-old from Uttar Pradesh, in connection with this murder. He was working as a scrap dealer in Pune and allegedly supplied money and other logistics. Another significant update in this case is that the Mumbai police has recovered a black bag near the scene of crime. Meanwhile, actor Salman Khan's security has been increased. He has been upgraded to Y+ security. The murder is linked to notorious gang whose leader, Bollywood Bishnoi, is currently in Sabarmati jail. The gang's name also popped up connection with the murder of Punjabi singer Sidhu Moosewala in 2022. The sensational murder of NCP leader has brought back memories of the 1990s, when politicians and film stars were frequently targeted by Mumbai's underworld. But the question arises, is it the return of gangs in Mumbai? Is there any connection between Bishnoi gang and Baba Siddique murder to Bollywood? Joining me on the show, Nasir Abdullah, who's an actor. We have Tara Deshpande, writer and actor, and P.K. Jain, former additional DGP of Maharashtra. Tara Deshpande, beginning with you, it's only getting murkier. My question is there a sense of fear among the stars that what used to happen 20 years ago seemed to be happening again in 2024?
Thank you, Maria. And yes, I think the fear is quite palpable here. I think people are concerned. I think it's kind of like a flashback to the 90s when these incidents were unfortunately very common. And I think there is a concern more so because people don't know exactly what is going on or what this is all about. So the not knowing is worse than the knowing. And of course, there's a lot of grief, there's a lot of sadness because Baba Siddique has been killed in such a brutal manner. So I think all in all, yes, people are very concerned and worried.
Yes, and Tara, one may start thinking that this is almost like a splash entry of a new gang in Mumbai. A big bang entry as it is being seen. Several top cops who are of the opinion that this is Lawrence Bishnoi gang announcing its arrival with this kind of high-profile murder.
Well, there are a couple of pieces to this puzzle that don't quite fit. Because if you look at the modus operandi of the other killings that he's been associated with or claimed that he has been a part of, whether it was the Moosewala, whether it was, other killings of other politicians like Goga Mehdi, for instance, they have been either gang killings because of gang rivalry, or there's been a direct revenge motive. So when Moosewala was assassinated, it was because of Muthu Kera's killing that they avenged him. So Vicky was killed in 2021 and Moosewala's assassination took place in 2022. So these are very immediate. There is generally not a lot of gap between, the motive and the carrying out of an alleged assassination. So it's kind of flummoxes me. Why after such a long time? I mean, this case goes back to the Blackbuck case goes back to the late 90s. Why this long? Because after all, Lawrence Bishnoi has been involved in the world of crime since he was in his 20s, right? Since he was a very young man. 700 shootings or more have been attributed to him. So why such a long period of time? I mean, this could have happened 5 years ago. This could have happened 4 years ago. Why now?
Okay, perhaps Speaker Jain can answer that question. Why now, sir?
Namaskar. See, I cannot give you any answer as to why has he made this entry. He has been threatening Salman Khan for a long time.
Yes.
It is only that his activities got aggravated sometime in 2019 when he first sent somebody to recce his residence and see his movements. And then last year he got him actually fired upon. So it is very difficult to say as to why he chose this time. But one thing, he has been spreading his tentacles across the country. And see, Mumbai has not seen any mafia-like activities for the last almost over a decade. So maybe he found, and other places, incidentally, in Maharashtra, I would not say that he's new to Maharashtra because he has certain associates in Pune. And now we have found that he also has his associates in Madhya Pradesh and other parts of Maharashtra. So maybe that now he finds that the gang-like activities in Pune, Nasik, Nagpur, all these upcoming tier 2 towns, from there he's now graduating over to Mumbai.
But my question is, we are not looking for someone here, or the cops are not looking for someone who is on the run. He is sitting in a high security prison, in jail, in Sabarmati jail, and he is expanding his operations.
Maria, I would like to specify one thing here, that I'm not saying that this is the only motive for his for the murder of Mr. Siddique. This is one of the options that police is exploring. The other option could be the real estate dealings of the deceased. So as of now, the police has come out with any authentic official statement in this matter. So we are all guessing that this is because all other things are adding to 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. We are saying that this would be Lawrence Bishnoi or his gang. And we are all penning our thoughts and our theories in the direction that he's been operating from Sabarmati jail. So till the time the direction is given by the police that they are working on this particular theory specifically, I would not say that Salman Khan angle is the only angle that we should look at. We should also look at a number of other dealings that Baba Siddique had, and the real estate dispute that he had, one of the bigger builders in the field who also has very strong political connections. It is known to everybody. It could be that particular angle also. I mean, the police are working on these 2-3 theories. So only saying that Lawrence Bishnoi has become very big, he now wants to enter the underworld in Mumbai, that could turn out to be true. But as of now, there are 2-3 theories the police are working on. And Salman angle is only one of them. And see, Salman has got so many friends. Baba Siddique is not that kind of a heavyweight, was not that kind of a heavyweight politician or minister that he could have, that he could have become the butt of target of this gang. He was one of the politicians. He had a small time stint in politics. He was 3-time MLA. He was a minister for a very short period. So I would not, say that he was one of the top-rung politicians in the state. So killing him as one of the buddies of Salman, to me, could be, it could turn out to be true, but to me, it also is a far-fetched theory that everybody is propounding. I think his real estate dealing should be looked into. He got a threat from Dawood in 2012 that was subsequently settled with the intervention of certain other people. He was big time into Bollywood. Bollywood even today does not get the kind of finance from the financial sector that they ought to be getting. So he may be one of the financiers for Bollywood also. And he was also, in any case, channelizing a lot of money. He had made a lot of money in the real estate deals. And as I know, as what I have learned, it was earlier also public knowledge, that he was involved in a couple of SRA projects where there was a dispute. He was coming in their way. He was not allowing them to go ahead with it. Stakes were very high. Stakes are very high, in fact. And that also could be one of the reasons. It is a very, very calculated, calculated move, the way it was conducted. The crackers were burst, then the firing took place. The people who were involved were Nausikhiyas. So I would not say that the Lawrence Bishnoi gang would be the only angle the police would be looking at, and they are looking at. They are looking at 2-3 other possibilities also.
Okay. So there are multiple angles in this story, of course, but Tara Deshpande, as a writer, this is turning out to be one of the real life scripts as well, unfortunately, which resembles real life. In 1990s, of course, we had seen targeting of, Gulshan Kumar, for example, the T-Series owner. And similar incidents happened in which politicians were targeted by the by underworld. And now there is another gang which is believed to be behind this, although the piecing together of evidence is still being done, piecing together of events leading to his Baba Siddique's murder is still being done. Do you think there's several unanswered questions, and particularly one question which remains unanswered till now is, what is the motive? We do not know the motive behind this killing.
Yeah, as I said earlier, that, it's a jigsaw puzzle and there are a lot of pieces that don't fit. The timing doesn't fit, the motives don't fit. In a sense, I think if you follow the money, you may get some answers, because, in the end, a lot of these activities require financing, they require money. So where's the money coming from?
Yes.
And where is it leading to? So I think, the Mumbai police is one of the best police forces in the world, let alone India. Okay. And I'm sure they're looking at all these different motives. And I'm sure we'll have an answer very soon. But I would say that it's still early days.
It's early days.
And we should
Absolutely.
be cautious. Yes, cautious.
Yes, we have Nasir Abdullah also joining us. Mr. Abdullah, if you can hear me now, there was a bad network at your place, and that is the reason why we could not have you earlier. I have just enough time before I play that interview with Gopal Varma. Your thoughts on this investigation so far in the murder of Baba Siddique?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure if I understand very well how, there was a call apparently from a gang member of the Bishnoi, the gentleman. Now, let me tell you something. Anybody can make a call and say they are calling on behalf of whatever. Many years ago, Preeti Zinta had some kind of a problem about her boyfriend, Nes Wadia, and she had left. And apparently some guy called Ashok Pujari, who was a kind of a mafia guy, called up Mr. Nasli Wadia, apparently threatening him. So this is my deal. Anybody can call and say they're so-and-so. How can we be sure, firstly, that Lawrence Bishnoi is behind the so-called message that has been sent that he is responsible for this thing, and this is because of so-and-so reason, because of the very suspect, and of course there is a possibility. But is it verified absolutely that it's Lawrence Bishnoi who made that call through his gang member?
Not till now. Of course, it's the subject of investigation. These are early days.
Good. And now it seems, because now it is a murder case, there is a lacuna that he's already held by the Gujarat cops and cannot be transferred to another location as a suspect for a murder case. And it's a heinous murder case, cold-blooded murder. So I don't understand what is really going on here. I mean, if it is so, they can find out very, very quickly who's behind it. They can do the narco analysis as well on this man and find out if he's really behind anything that has happened in the past, for example. So I don't know. It could all be a ruse. It could all be one of those things to kind of generate some kind of a hula boo, etc. And like I said, anybody can make a call. I can make a call and say I'm so and so. So that is my first of the contentions. And I find it very, very hard to believe that it's anything to do with the Salman Khan Association. I doubt it. Baba Siddique was a politician who was a bit closer to the film stars than the others, maybe, but that does not warrant his assassination. So I think it's a lot of bunkum, in my opinion, but maybe I'm wrong.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Nasir Abdullah, Tara Deshpande and PK Jain. Earlier today, I spoke to Ram Gopal Varma, a filmmaker who was known for his mafia films. Listen in to what he told me. Your cryptic post after Baba Siddique's murder and the whole Friends of Salman Khan angle that they are being targeted by Lawrence Bishnoi gang has everybody guessing. What do you wish to convey with that tweet? Or should I say series of tweets?
Yeah, I think, I meant it very clearly. There is nothing really cryptic about it. And it's everybody's knowledge exactly what happened on Saturday night. The point is, I think it's like in 90s, and I think the last time we heard about any underworld activities probably in 20 years back or maybe more than that, you know. And suddenly when you think it's all calmed down, it won't happen, and out of the blue this hits, it's almost as if either you call it a resurgence or a new kind of an underworld. Because the past underworld was mostly operating in Bombay City, like if you talk about D Company or something. But here this suddenly looks like an international this thing where they have shooters all over the place and even abroad and all that, and they operate from jail. This is something you never heard. Yes, we heard of gangsters operating from jail, but not at this level and this scale, you know. That a man can think, be somewhere like a queen bee or something and having a huge network of criminals working for him, I think is something which no one has ever heard before. And the uniqueness of the situation, it looks like in the past, if someone does a crime, you want to track him and he's absconding or you're trying to catch him. And the kingpin who's claiming that it is him, he's already in the custody of the government. So that is a very unique situation when one can't make out how it can be sorted. Yeah.
And Mr. Varma, since you have made a number of movies on Dawood Ibrahim as well, one of your films was on him. Politicians having fallen victim to gang-related attacks is nothing really new. It reveals the known dark underbelly of Mumbai. And do you think this is completely out of the blue or completely new kind of crime which is emerging?
I think this is a very new kind of a thing because, see, the underworld is more like a business organization, though it does crime, though it does violence sometimes to fast-track their reasons for getting money. And I'm not saying this particular gang is not into that, but additionally, I think the character of Lawrence Bishnoi is apt to take into consideration here. Like on one hand, he says he wants to take revenge on a film star for killing a deer. And then he will say it could be extortion. Then he has got some patriotic fervor, like rumors of him helping the government to fight some rebels against the government. So I think there are many hats which this gang is wearing, which is not very, unlike the earlier gangs, what you were just talking about. So I think And if you look at it because of the social media phenomena, he's gathering quite a lot of attention. To give an example, I have 6 million followers, and I put a tweet about him,
Yes.
and it got nearly 6 million views. And that just is an indication of what kind of interest he rose in the public's mind. Yes, the public are always fascinated with Johns, which is the reason we make films and all that. So I think he's almost getting a cult following, which is a very, very new thing, which I don't think I ever experienced something like that.
And, there is something unique about your phrasing as well. You have said that is this animal love at its peak or God playing a weird joke?
Yeah. See, no, the point is, like I mentioned in the tweet, if someone writes a story like this and he'll be kicked out of the industry because of the ridiculousness, but they say truth is stranger than fiction. So the point, I think he's getting all this publicity mainly because of what he said about Salman. So we never in the world history, I think anybody heard that to take a revenge for a deer's death, he wants to kill a superstar. So that is what which actually caught the attention, apart from the death of the pop singer Sidhu Moosewala. So he's also on the side, apart from his intentions of what he wants to get out of it, he's taking a very new approach, like how when we make films, we want to make a trailer, we want to make some kind of a promotional pitch. So I think he's building up his gang with all these, what do you call, outrageous kind of claims and statements. Whether he means it or not is not the point, but it is working for him to get popular at least.
And you say that this is almost like a cult-like following that he may have.
Yeah.
But Mr. Varma, I had a top cop on my show last evening, and he said that this is a Bollywood Bishnoi announcing his arrival in Mumbai because there is a vacuum among the mafias or gangs in there after what is seen as not so active Dawood Ibrahim.
Yeah, I think like earlier mentioned, the D company used to operate primarily only in Bombay, never. So this guy seems to be all over the place. You hear about him in Punjab to Haryana to somewhere, and then of course what happened in Bombay and then Canada. Somebody being killed in Canada, this Punjab Khalistan Pro guy. So I think it looks like he's spread over across all over. It is not limited to one certain place, And I think his operation style is very different compared to the gangs of 90s and 2000s. Yeah. He's almost like half becoming a cult leader. That's what I'm trying to say. His personality, the way he speaks on TV, you'll obviously get attracted to a man who speaks like that. So I think that is a very different thing. If you look at it, you never heard Dawood Ibrahim speak. Very rarely you hear gangsters speak and trying to make a style statement. It's almost like he's making a style statement. That is, I know it sounds ridiculous for me to say that about a gangster, but that is the nearest I can explain and I can think about it.
Yes, we certainly do not wish to glorify him. But Mr. Gopal Varma, my question is also that, what's becoming evident here is that politicians, mafias, Bollywood, everything seems to be intertwined or having some linkages. Would you also say, and have you in past faced live threats? Because, what played out...
Yes. See, I never did, actually. In fact, because of the films I made, Satya and company, those guys kind of used to like me. I don't know whether to take that as a comment, So I personally, myself, have never received threats from the underworld. But coming back to this, I don't believe in today's time, we saw a lull into last 20 years, nothing like this happened. Because I think the underworld is also patronized by businessmen, by some film industry people, and they're kind of mixed up. And that kind of a bondage has gone completely, it disappeared in the last 20 years, So I don't think any legitimate businesses and legitimate politicians want to take the help of the underworld to sort out their problems. Because of that, I think this is more towards a cult, building a cult. It's like, I want to get justice for something, or he's acting like a vigilant, and at some point of time he's beginning a religion of the Bishnoi. And I think there's multiple hats he's wearing. You don't know exactly how to pinpoint to call it an underworld gang. I don't think it is that.
And is this real life sensational murder, does it make you really think as to, is it about law and order situation? What has gone wrong with your city, the city that you love so much, and the city where you work?
Yeah. See, I mean, the point for me is, in such a large country and so many, it's not like anywhere in the world they could stop crime forever. Even in an advanced country like US also, it happens, you know. So I think every once in a while something unexpected like this comes, and by being unpredictable, it can throw the entire system out of gear because they're not prepared for a man like this, how to deal with him, you know. So I hope that it will be tackled, though I see it is not going to happen in the short time. You know, I don't think it's going to happen because you have to change a lot of things, and so many institutions have to come together to tackle this. And then the whole him bringing the communal card and X and Y and everything, I feel it's going to be there for some time. Till it'll get worse before it gets better is what my prediction is.
Okay, as someone who has made so many mafia movies, you know, does this, you know, very, very sad episode make you inquisitive in terms of your film direction or film scripting area?
Yeah, I mean, as a filmmaker, I'll always be interested in something as dramatic because eventually, as a filmmaker, I will want to mirror what's happening in real life, you know. So as a character, it interests me as a study, like a criminal professor is interested in crime, not for doing crime, but it is just as a matter of study. Yes, I'm definitely very interested because of that.
On Lawrence Bishnoi and the entire sensational murder?
Yes.
Okay. Ram Gopal Varma, your final thought. Of course, you know, I'm looking at your tweets, which have, of course, gone viral and a lot of reactions coming in. You still feel that it is unthinkable and ridiculous?
No. See, when I use the word ridiculous, I thought like real life always throws up something which you can never imagine. I don't think even maybe 1 week back, somebody could have thought some random people will come from somewhere and shoot a man as big as Baba Siddique, you know, and then claim that they want to go after Salman because he killed a deer some 20 years back. I think the unpredictability of that kind of a character is what is making everyone talk about it, you know. So I think that is something which you can't predict, a person like this. And it is the personality of Bishnoi which is actually making the point. If in this entire equation, if you take out that him wanting to kill Salman because of the deer, I don't think anybody will be that interested. Because killings happen all the time. It's not like it's such a... But in the way he's talking, for what he is doing, the motive is which is shocking, which is completely something which no one has ever heard before.
All right, Ram Gopal Varma, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts with NDTV.
Thank you.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
That everything is on the table, suggesting the possibility of sanctions as part of Canada's response to the escalating diplomatic row. Now, this statement comes amidst a series of expulsions of diplomats from both sides, highlighting a huge strain in India-Canada relations. Now, India continues to assert that the Canadian allegations on India and this alleged link to the death of a Khalistani terrorist are utterly unfounded. What's more, it is absurd that after intensely engaging the Indian High Commissioner to Ottawa for over the last 1 year, the Canadian government now chooses to target him by calling him a person of interest in their investigations. We'll track the very latest on this row. We'll be joined by a very special guest, Harsh Shringla, the former Foreign Secretary of India, will be with us in just the next couple of minutes. Also on the show, as we gear up for an electrifying political season, all eyes are on Maharashtra and Jharkhand, where the battle for assembly supremacy is set to unfold. Now, Maharashtra, with its 288 seats, votes in a single phase on the 20th of November, while Jharkhand's 81 seats will see a two-phase election on the 13th and the 20th of next month. Both states are poised for a fierce contest between the incumbent alliances and opposition coalitions. Will Maharashtra continue with the NDA's vision, or will Jharkhand vote out the current regime? Those are big questions. The results on the 23rd of November will tell. Now, stay tuned as we bring you comprehensive coverage of that in the days ahead and a deep dive on analysis on this program tonight. First, the headlines. The External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in Pakistan to attend a conclave of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the first visit by the Foreign Minister in 9 years. He says no bilateral talks will take place on the sidelines. The Mumbai police have arrested one more person in connection with the killing of Baba Siddique. Harish Kumar Balakram is accused of helping with the logistics. This as Salman Khan's security has been increased to Y+. An Air India flight from New Delhi to Chicago was diverted to a remote Canadian airport following a hoax bomb threat. A total of 10 flights have been impacted in 36 hours, all Indian airlines, due to hoax threats, each threat taken seriously, say the airlines. But first, our top story. The Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly has indicated that sanctions against India are being considered following allegations of India's involvement in the alleged killing of the pro-Khalistan leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Now, New Delhi has completely rejected it, has said that the allegations made by Canada are utterly ludicrous, and India has expelled several Canadian diplomats, including their acting High Commissioner, in a tit-for-tat situation. Relations between India and Canada never worse than they are today. What's the way forward? How serious are the Canadian allegations, which have now been raised by their Prime Minister as well?
We'll continue to push India to make sure that they cooperate. We'll continue to engage with our Five Eyes partners. We'll continue to engage with also all our G7 partners, and everything is on the table.
Well, joining us now, Mr. Harsh Shringla, the former Foreign Secretary and Ambassador to the United States, one of India's finest diplomats. Thanks so very much for being with us. Firstly, this entire rhetoric on there being potential sanctions against India, is that realistic at all? And B, how would you react?
I think 10 years, 15 years ago, we would have been very disturbed on hearing the word sanctions. It is a matter of concern traditionally. But I think we have come to a stage today, both in terms of the size of our economy and the confidence of our nation, that we are no longer intimidated by threats and coercion of this kind coming from a developed country. You heard the Foreign Minister of Canada. She used the word push India and, you know, everything on the table. I don't think this is language that two friendly democracies really, exchange messages on the basis of. I think this is, really moral sanctimony of the most extreme kind. I think it also has connotations of a bygone era in which developed countries could push around developing countries. But this is a new India, and we will not tolerate this level of, I would say, attempts at intimidation. Sanctions today can invite counter sanctions. We believe that we are importing enough from Canada. There is a robust trade, but India also is buying a great deal from Canada. Both countries will be hurt. Sanctions don't necessarily mean that it would be applied on us and we would be at the receiving end. We also have the option of placing counter sanctions on Canada. And I think this is not the way to go. And certainly threats and intimidation, which has been the practice of the government of Prime Minister Trudeau ever since I think he took over as Prime Minister in order to pander to his narrow political vote bank, has not been productive for the relationship or for the security and well-being of his own citizens, Canadian citizens.
Sure.
You would recall, yes, please, go ahead.
Ambassador Shringla, is there anything by way of information that either Prime Minister Trudeau or the Royal Canadian Mounted Police have revealed on this alleged plot involving India? Canada now says all the evidence has been submitted, but in terms of what Prime Minister Trudeau said, what the RC MP said earlier on, I didn't see anything remotely specific.
Yes, so apparently what has been the practice is to go to the public domain, whether it's in Parliament or a press conference or, a sort of a commission of inquiry, and speak of, investigation that brings out allegations that have, that are substantiated, that they've shared with us. But the government of India has been very clear. I think there's not a shred of evidence that is there with us which substantiates what the Canadian side is saying. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police yesterday in that press conference talked about links between Indian officials, India, and criminal elements operating in Canada. And again, I didn't see anything that would link some of this. You need to link all the dots that you're talking about. You need
and
to
Ambassador,
have
just
very,
that
very
point
substantial proof.
that you're
Yes.
mentioning, A, Canada raises these allegations, B, they engage our High Commissioner, who's I think the senior most serving Indian diplomat right now, over a period of 1 year, and now they all of a sudden find him, say that, we want to question him and the other diplomats. He's a person of interest. I mean, that sounds quite ludicrous.
Yeah, there's been a lot of inconsistencies in their position. And I think you're right in saying that not only have they engaged him, he's tried to bridge the gaps where, differences have arisen in our positions. But at the end of the process, they find him a person of interest in the investigation. High Commissioner Sanjay Varma, whom I know personally, is a person of impeccable credentials. He's been a diplomat of long standing, 35 years or more. And I think he's a thorough professional. I would not in any way say that he would be involved even remotely in anything of the nature that the Canadian government is casting aspersions on. And this is where I think things are going wrong. It's really off tangent, I would say.
Ambassador Shringla, one of the allegations made by the Canadians is that Indian diplomats have been seeking information from Canada and in a sense weaponizing that information. What does a diplomat do other than seek information? I mean, isn't that part of the job?
Of course, you seek information on Canadian political scene, the economy, on individuals, political persons of interest, even people in the diaspora who could be useful or is linked to the relationship. But the fact of the matter is that our diplomats are professionals. We're talking about very senior diplomats that have been named in this particular instance, and they would never go down to the level of conducting what the Canadians are alleging in terms of keeping tabs on individuals for purposes that are mala fide in nature. So I think that is, as the Ministry of External Affairs calls it, a preposterous allegation.
How is there, Ambassador, a marked contrast in the way that the United States is dealing with similar allegations in the way that Ottawa is?
So if you see with the Canadians, we have been repeatedly requesting them to share evidence linked to their allegations. They have been talking about these allegations, as I said, in the public domain. You have Prime Minister Trudeau who goes to Parliament and announces that there are potential links, between the Indian government and some of the investigations that they're doing. He goes to press conferences and says that. He goes, in other public forum and announces this. This is grandstanding. And this, I think, is, in our view, for narrow political interests. The United States, on the other hand, has engaged us in a manner that is normal between two friendly democracies. They have said that there are allegations and that the two countries should work together. There are mechanisms between countries that allow for you to work together behind the scenes in a constructive manner so that you can provide whatever information is necessary and the two sides can work on what evidence might be available or not available, as the case may be. That is the contrast. I think one is a constructive engagement by the United States, and it's really quiet diplomacy. Have you ever heard President Biden talking about this, or any other senior official of the U.S. Government speaking about these allegations? Whereas in the case of Canada, you have the Prime Minister himself going up to the pulpit and announcing it for the entire world. The Foreign Minister talking about taking the help of the G7, the Five Eyes, and every possible developed country that could come to their support on this case. This is nothing but political grandstanding for their electorate, and that also a narrow base of their electorate. We have constantly said, let's work in dealing with those elements that are anti-national to both countries. They're involved in organized crimes, extortion, gun running, drug smuggling, human trafficking. They're involved in acts of terrorism. Let's deal with them together and let's deal with this menace. But the Canadians have ignored us, and this is to their own peril, because as you go down, you'll find that these elements will be detrimental to their own security and their own interests. This happened in 1985 when India asked for the extradition of those responsible for acts of terrorism. The Canadians did not comply. Coincidentally, it was Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Trudeau, who was the Prime Minister at that time. They did not agree to that extradition, and this gentleman went on to be the mastermind behind the bombing of Air India's Kanishka flight. And even today, those perpetrators of the bombing of Kanishka that took so many lives are moving scot-free in Canada. So what sort of law and order situation is this? What sort of justice does it involve? And what sort of moral right does the representatives of this government have to ask us to produce evidence or face the consequences, push India, all measures around the table? I mean, this is something absolutely unacceptable. I think the people of India will not accept this sort of an approach, and we have to, I think, be very resolute in pushing back against this sort of intimidation, coercion, and bullying by or attempted bullying by a developed country.
Ambassador Shringla, on the other hand, there's the very real concern of families. There are incredible links, close links. Indo-Canadians are a very prosperous part of Canadian society, extremely educated, well-to-do, and have nothing, by and large, to do with this Khalistani aspect of it. They have family links over here. there are any number of Indian students on visas studying in Canadian institutions which offer an excellent education. What happens to them now?
Absolutely. I think there is a very, very successful Indian-Canadian community. They have contributed very significantly to Canada's growth and development. You have, as you mentioned, a lot of Indian students who are doing their higher education in Canada and who are also contributing to the economy very, very significantly. Even among the Sikh community, the vast majority of Sikhs in Canada are people who are honest and law-abiding, who've done very well for themselves, have a strong respect for the relationship and for India. They come to visit their families here. And I think it's only a small but vocal minority that is seeking a separatist sentiment, which does not exist in India. So it's a chimerical sort of objective that you're pursuing for various reasons. And this is the constituency that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is pandering to. And I believe that the vast majority of people who are, let's say, part of that India-Canada bridge and who are part of, I would say, the success that is behind our two countries should in no way be, I would say, adversely impacted by any steps that the Canadian government, could consider taking. I think this would be detrimental to not only the interests of the two countries, but also the people-to-people contact that is so important between our two countries.
All right, Ambassador Shringla, thanks very much for joining us and sharing that standpoint. Joining us now, Dean Baxendale is a columnist in Canada, Daniel Boardman, a journalist from Canada as well, Ambassador Meera Shankar, former Ambassador of India to the United States. I'm also joined by Harsh Pant, Vice President of Studies in Foreign Policy at the Observer Research Foundation. Dean Baxendale, Melanie Joly, the Canadian Foreign Minister, making the threat or suggesting that even sanctions could be considered in the future. Where does that help Canada? Because India is quite easily in a position to get into counter sanctions. So wouldn't that be counterproductive?
Well, listen, thank you very much for having me on today to discuss this important, bilateral discussion with respect to, the escalation of a, really a significant diplomatic row that we now have between the two countries. It was obviously, brought to, to the Canadian public and to the world last September when Justin Trudeau stood up in Parliament and spoke to having credible evidence with respect to India's involvement and engagement with possible elements that may have resulted in the assassination of Harjit Singh Najjar. So where we find ourselves today in the escalation speaks to the RCMP doing a full investigation. The RCMP is not going to provide any evidence in the public domain. So Indians who are watching this broadcast are obviously asking the question, could our government have been involved in such, a situation? And certainly we find ourselves now, after 40 years of not dealing with Khalistani separatists and other diaspora elements within our own society. We have created our own tensions in our own country. And ultimately, other governments are boldly engaged in Canada and foreign interference. So where does that leave us with sanctions? Yes, I don't think sanctions are an answer here, but it's clear that India and Canada, but I think India at this point needs to come to the table to have a serious discussion at this particular point, because, we have put out some fairly serious allegations. And I think that Canada is saying that India is not coming to the table. I do, the answers are going to happen face to face and through diplomatic channels. But sanctions are certainly not the answer for either side to escalate what is a very important relationship, two-way relationship between India and Canada.
Daniel, what our sources in Delhi indicate to us is that, on the one hand, Canada calls the Indian High Commissioner a person of interest. They want to question him and several other Indian diplomats. On the other hand, it's the same diplomat, the High Commissioner, whom Ottawa has been engaging with for one entire year. All of a sudden, he becomes a person of interest. That's what sounds bizarre over here. And to even suggest that diplomatic immunity be waived so that Indian diplomats can be tried, it all sounds strange, particularly in the context of the High Commissioner.
Well, exactly. I mean, asking to waive diplomatic immunity for a country like India, especially over the hard-up signature file, where, I mean, India is quite convinced that the man's a terrorist, might have something to do with his open declarations that suicide bombings against India is good and violence to take down the Indian state is necessary. That might have something to do with it. Listen, this is a problem on many different levels from the Canadian side and culture. Like, personally, I'm quite attached to the issue because I've lost a friend from foreign interference assassinations. Mehdi Amin, who was most likely murdered by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran in Richmond Hill. Canadian government didn't care, didn't budge. The judge even ruled that there was something fishy going on there. If you look at the evidence, didn't care. Karima Baloch, murdered in Toronto. We didn't care. In fact, the Toronto police said it's a suicide. What she did is she came up behind herself. She strangled herself to death, and then after she killed herself, she picked herself up and threw herself in a river, consistent with other ISI assassinations in Europe. This is what people saw in Canada prior to the hard-up signature thing. So to see the Canadian government go to DEFCON 1 over the leader of the Khalistan Tiger Force is a bit enraging. And so from like the Canadian perspective, those of us that follow, we've done nothing about foreign assassinations on our soil from hostile foreign governments. But now an allied foreign government is accused of it, and we are breaking all protocol. We're leaking it. We're not leaking evidence. We're just leaking accusations and trying to rope the Indian High Commissioner into this murder. And now it's not just this murder, it's every single murder. Apparently the Indian High Commission is now in charge of a massive criminal gang network across the country, extortion, murders, bribery, you name it. It's running through the Indian High Commission or through the Bollywood Bishnoi gang, even though he's in jail in India, but no, it's his deputy who's in Canada, who the Indian government is trying to extradite to India because they say he's a criminal, but we're protecting because we say he's not a criminal, but he is the criminal working with the Indian government in charge of a large, like none of it makes any sense. And Melanie Joly herself has no credibility. Melanie Joly, the foreign minister, whose biggest accomplishment when she was her first accomplishment in Canadian government as heritage minister, she built an $8 million skating rink outside Parliament. And the $8 million skating rink, no one was allowed to skate on. No one was allowed to skate on it. So that was her first. She moved up to foreign ministry, where she's now caught by Tom Mulcair, the former leader of the NDP, said that Melanie Joly told her the reason why she's taking these positions on Israel and being very anti-Semitic and anti-Israel, still has lies and blood libels up about Israel about fake hospital bombings. She said to Mulcair that she's making foreign policy decisions based on her own domestic politics in her riding. So the foreign minister is now saying that she's making Canadian foreign policy decisions based on the radicals that she's imported in her own riding.
Right.
So how is any country supposed to take our foreign minister seriously when she says she's making decisions based on the most radical fundamentalists that they've imported in her own domestic right?
Okay, let me go across to Let me go across to Meera Shankar, former ambassador of India to the United States. In terms of hopefully an improvement in relations between India and Canada, because ultimately that has to be the goal. How is that? I don't think it's possible right now in the present juncture, but how does this potentially play out? Because it's in the interest ultimately of both nations that this gets fixed.
Look, I think there is a potential geopolitical convergence between India and Canada in the Indo-Pacific, but there are very serious differences on this whole issue of extremist activity, whether it is incitement to violence, whether it is drug running, whether it is funding acts of terrorism in India from Canadian soil. And the feeling in India is that over the years, Canada has been less than responsive to our concerns, including when you had a major act of terrorism, the Kanishka bombing, where I think internal investigation reports in Canada themselves claim that the investigation was bungled. So, and on the other hand, there is this play of domestic politics in Canada in the election season, where that becomes sometimes a driving force for what salience Canada gives to allegations it has been making against India. Now, I personally believe that megaphone diplomacy on both sides is not helpful. It just exacerbates divisions and hardens positions. I think both sides have to step back and pause and then begin a confidential dialogue, because issues like this are not going to get resolved through leveling allegations on both sides.
All right.
I think, we have to hope that Canada will show greater responsiveness to Indian concerns, and that it's not good to be blasé about attempts to break up a friend,
right,
or to incite violence.
Sure.
And India will also look at ways in which it can have a quiet dialogue to ascertain what the truth of these allegations is.
All right, ma'am, let me just quickly go across to Harsh Pant, who's been waiting as well. I just want to, come to you in the way that we started the program with Melanie Jolie saying that sanctions are on the table. Is that even a realistic threat to India at this stage?
Vishnu, when have sanctions worked even against countries who are actually...
They haven't really worked, have they?
I mean, give us one case where they've actually worked. Now, the point here is not the sanctions. I think the bigger issue here is, does this government even want a relationship with India? I mean, if you look at the commercial ties, the ambassador was talking about the geo-economic convergence, everything is in place, but everything seems to be irrelevant, because at the end of the day, the Canadian government, the Trudeau government, seems to have one particular agenda when it comes to India, and that is to do, to use the word ambassador was using, megaphone diplomacy, instead of trying to figure out what the challenges are and how do you actually navigate these challenges. You were earlier talking about how similar situations are being handled very differently by other countries. UK, US, Australia, all of them have this challenge of how do you navigate internal Sikh, separatism and radicalization vis-a-vis India, and all of them are doing are treading a different route. Now suddenly you have Mr. Trudeau again, for reasons best known to him, but perhaps known to everyone else, that he is trying to make this an issue of principles where there are no principles involved. Every time he says sovereignty of Canada, you have to realize that he's also talking about sovereignty of India. He talks about how certain principles are being broken. He should realize that principles are being broken against Indians as well. So I think the broader question here is, I don't think that this government wants a relationship. And let's be honest, until Mr. Trudeau is there, it's very unlikely that you will see an off-ramp here, because both Mr. Trudeau has no incentive at this point to do that, to do precisely what Ambassador Jaishankar was suggesting, to do quiet diplomacy. And India, for its own reasons, for its sensitivities involved here in India, obviously would want to push back. So I think it's a very deadly combination at this point.
All right, we'll leave it over there. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. India-Canada relations at a real low. What's the way forward? No clear answers right now. We're going to take a short break. Turn our attention after that to elections coming up in Maharashtra and in Jharkhand. The Election Commission has announced the poll dates. But the big question, does the opposition have firepower to take on a reignited BJP in these two states? That's what we'll be discussing up next.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries. Shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries. Shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best.
Welcome back. As we gear up for an electrifying political season, all eyes are on Maharashtra and Jharkhand, where the battle for assembly supremacy is set to unfold. Maharashtra, with its 288 seats, votes in a single phase on the 20th of November, while Jharkhand's 81 seats will see a two-phase election on the 13th and the 20th of November. Both states are poised for a fierce contest between the incumbent alliances and opposition coalitions. We're going to focus on Maharashtra on this program. Let's start by taking a look at the 2019 numbers. The 2019 figures, remember the alliance structure, very, very different from what it was this time around. We now have a Mahayuti, and the Mahavikas Aghadi has changed dramatically. So if we take a look at the 19 sort of situation starting from 2009, the BJP has seen its tally go up from 2009 to 46 to 122. They dropped down to 105. But let's take a look at The Shiv Sena, which has been a huge factor, will be this time around. But remember, the Shiv Sena that we were talking about over here is the United Shiv Sena. It's now split between the Shinde faction. And 2009, 44, they went up to 63. It's down to 56. So the Shinde and the Thackeray faction, the two different factions supporting the two different alliances. The Congress party has seen a steady decline. 82 to 42, it went up slightly to 44 in 2019. So those were the individual positions of the primary parties. Let me go across to our guests who join us at the stage. Sanjay Nirupam, senior leader, Shiv Sena Shinde. Pradeep Bhandari of the BJP, Dr. Shama Mohammed of the Congress, and Amitabh Tiwari with us as well. Sanjay Nirupam, let me come to you first. There have been internal studies which have actually been done by the Mahavikas Aghadi, which suggest that they are poised to win 165 of 288 seats. How would you respond?
Yeah, it's correct, because you're talking about Mahayuti, na?
Yes.
See, our government has been working for last 2 years, more than 2 years. And the total focus was on the welfare schemes.
I'm not talking about Mahayuti, sir. I'm talking about the MVA. We're talking about the Mahavikas Aghadi, who have said that they're going to win 165 of 288. So that's how would you look at that?
Same internal survey report is with us, which it says that we are going to get between 165 to 175 seats. So I just thought that you are referring my survey or our survey.
So your survey says what?
Our survey says that we are going to get minimum 165 seats.
So it's identical, essentially, both sides. Anyway, carry on, sir.
Anyway, so our government has been completely focusing on the welfare schemes and the developmental programs. Welfare schemes is basically, all the schemes are related to the women welfare schemes, or the farmer welfare scheme, the youth welfare scheme. And in these schemes, we are giving lots of support to the segment. Similarly, the development schemes like infrastructure development, majorly in Mumbai, you must have seen this Atal Setu, which is one of the best infra project in our country at this point of time, which was completed by our government and inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. Then the coastal road is a surprise infra project. Similarly, that Samriddhi Expressway, which connect Nagpur to Mumbai, it's one of the best infra projects. So we are completely focusing on the infrastructure development and the development of the overall Maharashtra state and the welfare. Now, on this basis, we are going to repeat. We are going to come back to power.
Okay, Dr. Shama Mohammed, it's interesting that Sanjay Nirupam seems to have the same numbers which your alliance has projected, approximately 165 seats. He says they're absolutely certain. How would you respond to that?
You know, I was listening to Sanjay Nirupam ji. He was talking about women, he was talking about welfare, and he was talking about infrastructure. Now, you are the one, let's understand Maharashtra is the most industrialized state. The Bharatiya Janata Party, or I mean Shiv Sena, Shinde is with them, is that Viksit Bharat, they talk about Amrit Kal. And they had Beti Bachao, they have Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. In those times, they are giving saris to women, utensils to women. They're giving construction worker kits. They are giving, free tolls, everything possible. And they're also those farmers who have got issues, they are helping them out at this point of time by giving them money into their banks. Now, my question today is, if your governance was so good, why go into what Prime Minister Modi used to say at one point of time, Revadis? That's what he said. Now it does not become Revadis. The thing which I really noticed was to give madrasa teachers a hike. Now just imagine, Vishnu, if the Congress party did it, it's called appeasement. Now what I see in their party is that there is a very important strategy meeting. Ajit Pawar goes out of the strategy meeting to get in some actor into his party. Now, I fail to understand why the rest of them was not accompanying Ajit Pawar, or Ajit Pawar keeps it separate. That means there is a problem of cohesion inside the party. Then you had the Jan Sammelan Yatra of Ajit Pawar literally 2 months ago, in which in every poster, he is the Chief Minister of Maharashtra.
Right, so differences within the alliance. right? That's what you're saying.
Of course, there's a huge issue, and whatever welfare schemes they're going to do, they are not winning this election because people are very, very upset about multiple things, including employment. The youth are upset with employment.
Hold that thought. You've made lots of points.
Law and order.
Got it. So, you've spoken about SOPs, you've spoken about employment, and you've spoken about differences within the coalition. Pradeep Bhandari, on the leadership issue, does Ajit Pawar represent a challenge to the BJP? Because that's what the Congress alleges.
Well, Vishnu, good evening to the viewers of NDTV. We are absolutely united, and you should not take the Congress party seriously. I remember Shama Mohammed, in fact, on your show, saying that the Congress party will sweep. I think there's an echo on the voice.
We'll just have that fixed.
Corrected. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you remember that during the time of Haryana elections, the Congress spokespersons were speaking about the Bharatiya Janata Party getting 10 to 15 seats, and if the BJP will get more than 10 seats, they will change their name. It was Supriya Srinath. Very confident. Now, the strategy of the Congress party is very clear, which is there in the tweet of Shama Mohammed, and allow me to read that tweet, which is on October 9, 2024, 11:16 a.m. Shama Mohammed concludes that at the end of the day in Haryana, let's admit the only party stands with the Congress party is the Muslim community. So the Shama Mohammed only is doing blatant appeasement, and her party does pure appeasement. The Bharatiya Janata Party focuses on
Who is
Sabka
giving
Saath,
them
Sabka Vikas,
madrasa
and that's what
teachers?
NDA does in the leadership of Eknath. See, can I answer that, Vishnu? See, I was not interrupting her. Why is she getting so rattled? I will answer each question.
No, Pradeep, go ahead. Shama, I'll come to you next.
Vishnu, can I please answer? Yes. So we focus on Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and in Maharashtra under the leadership of Eknath Shinde ji, Devendra Fadnavis ji, Ajit Pawar. There are three principles to what we say. A is that we believe in welfare. That's where we got the Ladki Behna Yojana, where we are providing 1,500 rupees every month to more than 2 crore women of Maharashtra. Point number one. Along with that, we also believe in infrastructure development. That is where our spend on infrastructure is much more before what was of the time of Mahavikas Aghadi, whose focus was on running a 100 crore Vasuli racket, where their home minister had gone to jail for a year, and along with that, they used to plant bombs outside the residences of chief minister. So there is a huge contrast between the approach of the two alliances. Along with that, Mrs. Shama Mohammed was speaking about differences in alliance. I asked her, can she openly declare Mr. Uddhav Thackeray as the nominee, chief ministerial nominee of the alliance? If they do so, I will believe that they are united.
Okay, let's get an answer to these 3 points. Pradeep, 1 second.
If I'm not
Shama, go ahead.
speaking about that.
No.
Yes.
Pradeep said a couple of points. He talked about certain thing called appeasement. Now, they are the ones who are giving madrasa teachers hike. Is that not appeasement? If I'm not asking Pradeep Bhandari, is that not appeasement of Muslims?
No, it is not.
Let me finish.
It is not. We are giving to D.Ed and B.Ed teachers. We are not giving to Maulvis. There is a difference. There is a difference.
Pradeep, let's not fight.
We are giving to teachers who have degrees, not to Maulvis.
No, let her answer. Let her answer.
No, I interrupted her once because she interrupted her once.
But now you're constantly interrupting Pradeep. Wait, let her answer.
Yeah, so that is called, according to him, that is not called appeasement. Now, he keeps on saying about, pronounce Uddhav Thackeray. And we don't have differences. It is your party, it is your Shiv Sena, Eknath Shinde saying, we cannot sit next to Ajit Pawar. I feel like puking. One of the MLAs said that. Nobody said that inside our party. It is your Bharatiya Janata Party saying that, we don't care if Ajit Pawar leaves us or not. It is not in our party. We don't have issues. We will decide who will be the chief ministerial candidate. But my question today to you is, the Prime Minister of India always says Revdi, Revdi, Revdi. Now, you started this Ladli Behna scheme 4 months back. That is why the Election Commission wanted the dates not with Haryana, but later on, so that this scheme settle in, and then you can have benefits out of it. My question today to you is that if you have done so much of development, Amrit Kal is there, the industrialized state of India is Maharashtra. Why are you going for these freebies? Why don't you give them employment? Where is the employment? The Dalits are upset with you. The STs are upset with you because you have taken away the forest rights.
Shama, okay, all right. Pradeep, you've got a minute, 20 seconds to answer that. Then I'm going to go to Amitabh, who's been waiting very patiently. Go ahead.
What is freebie culture is when the UPA used to be in power and it left our country as a fragile five economy. That is what the freebie culture is. Freebie culture is when the Congress party in Karnataka promises the Dalits of giving scheme and then they do Valmiki scam. That is what freebie culture is. Freebie culture is when in Himachal Pradesh the Congress party is not able to give salaries to their chief minister, to their chief secretary and their MLAs. That is what freebie culture is. We give welfare. Along with that, we ensure that Maharashtra's economy is thriving. 42% with Maharashtra, and the total quantity of budget of Maharashtra is 10x of what it was at the time of Mahavikas Aghadi. So, Dr. Mohammed, please understand the basics of it. On the part of providing salaries to the madrasa teachers, we are not doing it to Maulvis, Dr. Mohammed. We are doing to PNA teachers. Today, you are against the Muslim community also. It is shocking that Shama Mohammed today is speaking against the Muslim community. Till yesterday, after the Haryana election, she was speaking for the Muslim community. This is where issue is. Congress party is anti-people. Again, I say, we are very, very clear that we are running our government under the leadership of Eknath Shinde ji, Devendra Fadnavis ji and Ajit Dada Patil. Uddhav Thakkre's party wants Uddhav Thakkre to be declared as the chief ministerial candidate. Dr. Shama Mohammed could not even commit to that. Mark my words, Vishnu, I said this during the time of Haryana elections. The Mahavikas Aghadi is a Mahavinash Aghadi which will implode from within. It will be a Bharatiya Janata Party led government.
Did they say that about your formation? All right, okay, both of you hold on. Both of you hold on. Now, Amitabh Tiwari, why don't you come in over here? After the results in the Haryana election, many suggest that there is a new sort of ignition within the BJP which was missing earlier on. It's been revitalized in a sense, and the momentum, at least in terms of rhetoric which the opposition seemed to have had, that's been stopped. Do you believe there's a certain momentum which is built up as a result of Haryana within the BJP and its allies?
See, the base of the election has moved from 2019 to 2024 Lok Sabha election. So in that election, the MVA was leading in 153 seats and the Mahayuti in 126. So now, after the victory in Haryana, of course, it gives momentum to the Mahayuti. It improves the morale and confidence of the cadre who had perhaps thought that Mahayuti is on the back foot in the Vidhan Sabha elections. The party has, or the alliance has also done some course correction. It has announced a Ladki Behna Yojana for women. It has granted a constitutional status to SC Commission. It has improved or increased the OBC creamy layer. And it has also recently waived the toll for entry into Mumbai. So it has taken some corrective action, realizing that the party was on a sticky wicket. Now, Maharashtra is a very complex state because it has 5 to 6 regions. Different regions have different narratives. So what the Haryana election tells us is that one pan-statewide narrative does not work. If you see, the vote shares in Haryana are equal for both BJP and Congress, but different regions have different stories. So here also different regions will have different stories. Vidarbha, it will be largely Congress versus BJP. Western Maharashtra, largely a battle of legacy between the Pawars, Ajit and Sharad Pawar. Mumbai, Thane, Konkan, a battle of legacy between the Thakre and Shinde faction. And Marathwada, again largely between Congress and BJP, Shiv Sena. In terms of giving a signal to the neutral voter, see, neutral voter could be impacted by this. That the narrative or the perception that the BJP was on the back foot. But now with BJP winning a difficult state where it was predicted to lose, the neutral voter also thinks that, oh, all is not lost, the party is in contention. So it sends a message to neutral voter, the cadre, and also consolidates perhaps the core support base of Mahayuti.
You know, Amitabh, what might be interesting is to look at the shift of power in states over the last several assembly elections. So let's have that graphic up and just take a look at the balance of power, as it were, between the BJP and primarily the Congress, but obviously there are other opposition parties as well. So if we have that up, let's take a look firstly at Karnataka, which went from the BJP to the Congress party. Basavaraj Bommai to Siddaramaiah, as you can see on your screen. Chhattisgarh went from Congress to the BJP, Bhupesh Baghel to Vishnu Deo Sai. Rajasthan has gone from the Congress to the BJP, Ashok Gehlot to the new Chief Minister Bhajan Lal Sharma. Andhra Pradesh has gone from Jagan Mohan Reddy of the YSRCP to Chandrababu Naidu of the TDP. Orissa has gone from the Biju Janata Dal, Biju Patnaik, to the BJP quite resoundingly. From Biju Patnaik to Mohan Charan Manji. Telangana has gone from the BRS to the Congress party. K. Chandrasekhar Rao to Revant Reddy presently. On what basis can the Congress or opposition leaders actually say that the momentum is with them? If you look at the performance of the BJP, they've been quite strong in several states. Amitabh?
Essentially, if you see the map of the population and the land which the BJP or the NDA has under control, currently it's one of the highest in their 10 to 11 year term. See, what happens is, what is the difference between the BJP and the Congress party? If you see, even in 2023 state elections, the Congress was ahead in terms of narrative perception that it is winning. But somehow the Congress gets into this feeling that it is ahead, it is winning. Whereas the BJP in state elections 2023 and in Haryana, after a setback in Lok Sabha elections, made some course correction and did tighten the nuts and bolts of the organization, improving its relationship with the RSS as well. So it's all about momentum. We should not overanalyze an election also, but it's going to be a very seat by seat, highly localized election here.
Thank you all very much for joining us. Election dates are out now in Jharkhand and in Maharashtra. It's going to be exciting times ahead. Pradeep, we'll save this for the next debate. Shama, we'll certainly come back to you. Thank you both very much. Thank you all three very much for being with us. We're going to move on now to the menace of hoax calls impacting flights. An Air India direct flight from New Delhi to Chicago was diverted to Iqaluit Airport in a remote part of Canada today following a hoax bomb threat which was posted online. But that's not it. A total of 10 flights have been grounded in 36 hours after receiving hoax threats. Today, 7 flights were grounded, including the Air India Delhi to Chicago flight, a Dammam to Lucknow Indigo flight, an Ayodhya to Bengaluru Air India Express flight, several others. Yesterday, 2 Indigo flights to the Middle East and 1 Air India flight also received false threats. Some of these flights were in the air, had to land. Other flights were delayed. So multiple bomb scares impacting flights. It's a real crisis. These have come from unverified social media handles. The Bureau of Civil Aviation Safety is looking at this very, very closely indeed. The External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, has arrived in Pakistan for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. Dr. Jaishankar is leading an Indian delegation. It's been several years since we've had an Indian foreign minister in Pakistan. There will be no bilateral process between India and Pakistan. He's there for a multilateral summit. India continues to have grave concerns over the Pakistani threat of terrorism. The Pakistani Prime Minister and Dr. Jaishankar, you saw a little earlier, shaking hands, exchanging greetings. My colleague Uma Shankar Singh is in Islamabad. He spoke to the Pakistan Foreign Minister.
ये एक मल्टीलैटरल कॉन्फ्रेंस है, इसमें बायलैटरल इश्यूज एजेंडा पे नहीं हैं और पाकिस्तान और इंडिया की बायलैटरल मीटिंग भी प्लान्ड नहीं है। उसके अलावा हम इंडियन फॉरेन मिनिस्टर को वेलकम करते हैं क्योंकि वो आए हैं पाकिस्तान। जो भी लोग और जो मुल्क यहाँ पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं वो एक रिफ्लेक्शन है कि SCO कितनी इम्पोर्टेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और इस सिलसिले में हम वेलकम करते हैं जो भी यहाँ पर लीडर्स आए, इंक्लूडिंग द इंडियन फॉरेन मिनिस्टर।
This is the first visit by any Indian foreign minister to Pakistan in last 9 years. I have just spoken to the Pakistan MOFI spokesperson Mumtaz Zahra Baloch, and she categorically said that there is no bilateral meeting planned between the two countries. India has already ruled out any bilateral meeting the very same day the EAM visit was announced. So basically Pakistan is reacting to that, as Pak PM Shahbaz Sharif is hosting a dinner for all the guests. We'll have to see what comes out from there in terms of pleasantries, exchange of pleasantries, informal talks, handshakes, etc. Formal meeting will start tomorrow morning. EAM Jaishankar had already said that India is attending as a good member of SCO. He will spell out India's point of view on the regional security, economic cooperation, which are the core issues of this multilateral forum. Certainly, India's concern regarding terrorism will reflect in EAM's address. Mr. Jaishankar is expected to fly back to Delhi on Wednesday after the conclusion of the conference and signing of SCO documents. We will keep bringing the updates as this meeting progresses.
All right, so an important visit over there. Remember, it's not a bilateral process. There's that Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, which the foreign minister is in Pakistan for. The first visit in more than a decade of an Indian foreign minister to Pakistan. We're out of time on Left, Right and Center. We'll take a short break from all of us here on the Left, Right and Center team. Good night.
2 cappuccinos to go. I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps.
And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
2 cappuccinos to go. I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India.
Hello and welcome to News at 10. There has been a lot of political developments over the day, so we shall tell you what happened in the country and across the globe. Also stories from the world of politics, sports, entertainment. First up, the headlines of the hour. Jharkhand and Maharashtra elections have been announced by the Election Commission today. Jharkhand will be held in two phases on 13th and 20th, while Maharashtra a single phase on the 20th of November. Counting will be on the 23rd of November. The Election Commission has also rejected Congress's allegations of faulty EVMs. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra to make her electoral debut from Kerala's Wayanad. Congress has decided to field Priyanka from Wayanad after Rahul Gandhi vacated his seat in Kerala. An Air India flight from New Delhi to Chicago was diverted to a remote Canadian airport following a bomb hoax. A total of 10 flights have been impacted in 36 hours due to hoax threats. Each threat has been taken seriously, say the airlines. The Mumbai police have arrested one more person in connection with the killing of Baba Siddique. Harish Kumar Balakram is accused of helping with logistics. This as Salman Khan is given Y+ security. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in Pakistan to attend a conclave of Shanghai Cooperation Organization or the SCO. Jaishankar and Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz has shaken hands. This is the first visit by a foreign minister of India to Pakistan in 9 years. In cricket, Rohit Sharma gives an update on Mohammad Shami's injury ahead of the first test versus New Zealand. He says that Shami suffered a setback while undergoing rehab. The senior quick bowler is unlikely to be back for the Tour of Australia that starts next month. And we start with stories from the world of politics. The BJP and its allies, Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena and Ajit Pawar's Nationalist Congress Party hope to win despite the setback they suffered in Lok Sabha polls earlier this year. The morale is high, especially after the BJP won a historic third term in Haryana, while the MVA, the Alliance of Congress, Uddhav Thackeray faction of Shiv Sena and the Sharad Pawar faction of NCP, which bested the ruling alliance, is counting on a repeat performance. Radhika reports.
Maharashtra is all set to go to polls on November 20th. This is going to be a single-phased election. November 23rd is when results will come out. A lot has changed in Maharashtra since 2019, since last assembly polls, political landscape changing, government collapse happened, rejigs, splits, realignments, identity battle for both Uddhav and Sharad Pawar as far as this election is concerned. They came out victorious in Lok Sabha polls. Image battle for rival factions of Sena and NCP that join hands with the BJP and unfortunately face defeat in the LS polls. And for BJP, this is prestige battle, which came back to power post, Sena joining hands with the Congress and NCP. A government, of course, launching a lot of schemes, SOPs, ahead of elections, bonus for BMC employees, toll waiver for motorists, Ladki Behan scheme, constitutional status to SC Commission, income limit increase for OBC non-creamy layer and so on. So therefore, at this point, government is trying to woo the voters as much as possible. Seat sharing talks happening as far as Mahayuti equation is concerned. It is looking at about 140 to 150 seats for the BJP, which is coming across as the big brother once again, and for Shinde Sena perhaps close to about 80 to 90 seats, and not so much for Ajit Pawar, perhaps 40. MVA says, even there is no disagreement there as well. Congress may get the larger chunk along with Sena, equal division perhaps, and Sharad Pawar may get about 80 seats. This is what we are being told. Mahayuti maintaining that 90% of seat sharing talks are over and it will be finalized very soon. Same being echoed by MV as well, but a lot of internal disputes and bickering going on as far as 288 member assembly constituency are concerned. So it's not going to be easy, decision on the seat sharing formula since the alliance partners have changed. There have been rejigs and realignments, but we'll have to see how things will pan out. It's certainly going to be exciting elections. And a lot of high voltage campaigns is what we'll see in Maharashtra in the next few weeks.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in attendance as BJP CEC meets at the BJP headquarters in Delhi regarding the upcoming Jharkhand elections, which will be held in two phases on 13th and 20th of November. Remember, the counting will be on the 23rd of November. The CEC is expected to deliberate on selection of candidates. A Jharkhand core group meeting was also held on the 7th of October, but today the elections were announced. I'm joined by my colleague Aishwarya for more on the story. Good evening. Tell us a little bit more of what is being discussed at the CEC meeting. We do understand that the core committee of BJP is zooming in on Jharkhand this evening.
Well, certainly to finalize the party's candidates for Jharkhand Assembly polls next month, it is the Bharatiya Janata Party Central Election Committee who met where Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President JP Nadda, National General Secretary Organization BL Santosh were amongst the CEC members who deliberated upon the probable list of nominees at the party headquarters today. It was also Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Hemanta Biswa Sarma along with the Jharkhand leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party who deliberated upon the final list of the candidates, which we are expecting up in another 2 days. Certainly, it was also, earlier the meeting that was held at JP Nadda's residence where, almost the deal was done as far as the candidates are concerned, and BJP is all eyeing to come back in the state of Jharkhand, and therefore the reason perhaps an all-important Central Election Committee meeting concluded where Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired that particular meeting.
So we will see some interesting developments in the coming days. The Congress on Tuesday announced candidates for Lok Sabha and Assembly by-polls and fielded Priyanka Gandhi Vadra from Wayanad for Lok Sabha by-polls. Wayanad's seat was vacated by Congress leader Rahul Gandhi after he was also elected to Lok Sabha from Raebareli in Uttar Pradesh in the general elections held earlier this year. Earlier in the day, the Election Commission announced by-polls to Wayanad Lok Sabha seat. Wayanad will go to the polls on the 13th of November along with voting for by-elections in 47 assembly seats across 15 states. Now, in other news, the Election Commission has rejected Congress's claims of faulty EVMs. The poll body has said that EVM tampering is impossible. They gave a detailed response on EVM batteries. In fact, the Chief Election Commissioner drew parallel to pagers and EVM's poll body rejected opposition's faulty EVM charge. The CEC said in that press conference there on your screen that EVM battery is sealed, impossible to read EVMs or tamper with batteries. He has rubbished the rigging charge. He explained in that press conference how EVMs function and how they are tamper proof.
EVM के बारे में आपने फिर से पूछा। बहुत बार मैं बता चुका हूं आपको, थोड़ा समय लगेगा तो फिर से बता देता हूं। 6 महीने लगभग 5-6 महीने फर्स्ट FLC शुरू होती है ईवीएम की। टेम्पर नहीं हो सकती, उसमें कोई कनेक्शन नहीं हो सकता। अभी लोग पूछते हैं जब पेजर से उड़ा देते हैं तो ईवीएम को कैसे हैक नहीं कर सकते, ये भी पूछते हैं। जब कोई किसी कंट्री में पेजर से उड़ा दिया तो ईवीएम हैक हो जाएगी। अरे भाई, पेजर कनेक्टेड होता है, ईवीएम कनेक्टेड नहीं होती। मेरे पास में एक पूरा रिकॉर्ड है। ये हम जो भी ईवीएम की शिकायतें बाय द वे आई हैं, वो हमारे पास 20 शिकायतें आई हैं। हर 20 शिकायत का हम इंडिविजुअल जवाब देंगे, फैक्ट बाय फैक्ट। जब मशीन में कमीशनिंग होती है उस दिन उसमें बैटरी डाली जाती है। पहले आया था, पहले और बहुत सारी चीजें आई थी कि वो हैक हो सकती है, उसका बोट इधर डाला तो इधर जा सकता है, कुछ हो सकता है। ये पहली बार आया। अब हम ये भी सोच रहे हैं कि इससे अगला क्या आएगा, हम नहीं समझ पा रहे इससे अगला क्या आएगा, बट लगता है अगला भी कुछ आएगा, रुकेगा नहीं।
Moving on to a story from Karnataka, prisoners seem to be having easy access to smartphones. Many photos and videos of the inmates of Kalburgi Central Jail have gone viral. A prisoner is seen making a video call to friends using his smartphone. After the videos of inmates go viral, Karnataka government orders probe. Now, the an FIR has been registered. Earlier, actor Darshan, who is accused in a murder case, was seen enjoying VIP treatment in a Bengaluru jail. Let's listen into what the DGP prisons of Karnataka has to say about VIP life.
ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದು FIR ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸರ್ದು ಪಾತ್ರ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಲಾಗುವುದು ಮತ್ತು ಅದು ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮಿನರಿ ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿನೂ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇದು ಆವಾಗ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ನೋಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಡಿವಾಣ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹಾಕೋದು ಅಂತ ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದನೂ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
My colleague Pratibha joins me for more on this story on phone line. Pratibha, we had seen pictures of actor Darshan, how he made calls to his friends from inside the prison. Now, are there other cases surfacing as well? And what kind of action is being taken on others as well?
Well, what we know is that, yes, like you mentioned, in August is when there was VIP treatment meted out to actor Darshan, who's already involved in a murder case, and along with him, several others enjoying a cup of tea. And these were the kind of pictures that went viral then, which also caused a lot of outrage among Bengalurians here. And it also necessitated the shifting of several of those inmates involved in this case to other jails. And actor Darshan was shifted from Parpanagrahara in Bengaluru to the Ballari Central Jail. And now what we are seeing is that there is VIP treatment given to prison inmates at the Kalburgi Central Jail. Well, another interesting factor is that actor Darshan's personal assistant Nagraj was recently shifted to Kalburgi jail, and he's been lodged there as well. And now we have pictures and videos that are going viral showcasing how prisoners seem to be having easy access to smartphones as well as other narcotics there. And this has definitely caused a lot of outrage among people of entire Karnataka now. And this has also necessitated a visit from the DGP prisons, who's now promised action. And she was questioned about the frequency of such incidents, and she said that there would be enough precautionary steps that will be taken to prevent this from happening henceforth.
Right.
But all eyes are on what kind of prison reforms would be introduced from now on.
Right. Thank you very much, Pratibha, for getting us all those details. Now, in the Baba Siddique murder case, the Mumbai Crime Branch has arrested the fourth accused, Harish Kumar Balakram. He was arrested in UP's Barhait for allegedly supplying money and arranging logistics for the sensational murder. The third shooter, Shiv Prasad, remains on the run. My colleague Radhika reports from Mumbai.
Well, investigations are underway, but fact remains that the mastermind or the actual conspirator has still not been arrested. Lawrence Bishnoi gang link is being very thoroughly probed by Mumbai police at this point, but all the small fish being arrested. Fourth arrest taking place. This is a scrap dealer from Pune who was arrested from his village in UP. 23-year-old man. He was sent to police custody today. Apparently, he provided logistics as well as financial support to the other shooters, is what the police said in the remand report. Besides that, today a very important detail that was revealed by the police is that one of the accused who is absconding at this point, which is Shubham Lonkar, who had in fact put out that Facebook post saying that he belongs to Lawrence Bishnoi gang, and the reason why they attacked Baba Siddique, killed him, was because of his association with Salman Khan. He was in fact questioned by the Mumbai police after that Salman Khan episode, after the firing outside Salman Khan house. He was questioned for quite some time as his name was given out by the accused in that particular case, but he was let off. He was let off after questioning, and now of course Mumbai police left red-faced as he is now being linked to this case as well. He's the one who put out that social media post. So therefore he's absconding at this point. His brother has been arrested, but the fact remains that Mumbai police had closed in on this fellow. In the other case, perhaps if he was arrested, the conspiracy may not have been hatched. We are not sure, but certainly this has left Mumbai police embarrassed. This is one, and of course, yet another weapon was found near the crime scene today. Another bag with a gun was also found today in the crime scene. Besides that, of course, security being provided to Salman Khan as a result of the Bishnoi link. There is high security outside his residence as well as in his Panvel farmhouse as well.
Thank you very much, Radhika, for getting us that report. Now, moving on, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in Pakistan for the SCO summit. Jaishankar leads India's delegation in Pakistan. He met the Pakistan PM and shook hands with him. They exchanged greetings with each other, but Jaishankar has said that they are not going to discuss India-Pakistan ties. He is in Islamabad for a multilateral summit. However, has said that there will be no bilateral meetings between India and Pakistan. My colleague Uma Shankar is in Islamabad and spoke to Pakistan's foreign minister. Let's listen in.
सबसे पहला सवाल आपसे यही है कि कितना आपको एक उम्मीद है इस बैठक से, ख़ासतौर पे जिस तरह से पाकिस्तान की माली हालत को लेकर तमाम जो बातें होती है और एक ऐसा फोरम है जहाँ पे इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन को लेकर तमाम जो मुल्क है वो बात करते हैं, तो पाकिस्तान की उम्मीद क्या है इस बैठक से?
देखिए, ये जो कॉन्फ्रेंस है ये SCO की सेकंड हाईएस्ट फोरम है, जिसमें बिल्कुल आपने ठीक कहा, ये इकोनॉमिक मैटर्स पे फोकस करेगी, ट्रेड पर होगा, क्लाइमेट चेंज पे होगा, और ये एक मौका है जहाँ पर SCO के ममालिक इकट्ठे होकर एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर जो हमारे कलेक्टिव चैलेंजेस हैं, डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज़ के मसाइल हैं, जो इंटरनेशनल सप्लाई चेन।
The latest on India-Canada diplomatic crisis, and India has once again rejected Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's claims, who accused India of backing criminal activities in Canada. A fresh statement on Monday. In a fresh statement on Monday amid diplomatic row, sources claim that assertions by Canadian officials Canada presented incredible evidence to India in the Sikh extremist Hardeep Singh Nijjar case is simply not true. That Canada's approach since the beginning has been to make vague accusations and put the burden of denial on India. The sources further said that Justin Trudeau during the press conference was saying the same old things for the same old reasons. When asked if the foreign minister, when asked about this, this is what the foreign affairs minister had to say.
Continue to push India to make sure that they cooperate. We'll continue to engage with our Five Eyes partners. We'll continue to engage with also all our G7 partners, and everything is on the table.
The menace of hoax calls are impacting flights. An Air India direct flight from New Delhi to Chicago was diverted to an airport in Canada today following a hoax bomb threat which was posted online. Singapore Defence Minister has said that Air India Express received an email that there was a bomb on board the flight. Singapore Air Force F-15s escorted the Indian Express flight, which faced a bomb threat away from populated areas. A total of 10 flights have been grounded in 36 hours after receiving hoax threats. My colleague Vishnu Shom joins me for more on this story. Vishnu, why have the threats really grown? And this is kind of a menace that is impacting the life of many common people.
I think let's just focus for starters on this latest news. It is developing in terms of the information coming. The Singapore Defence Minister has made a statement, a tweet, where he said that two Singaporean Air Force F-15 fighter aircraft escorted an Air India Express aircraft which was on a flight from Madurai to Singapore away from populated areas. That aircraft was eventually allowed to land at Changi International Airport in Singapore more than 1 hour, 14 odd minutes after it was scheduled to land, despite having taken off on time. Obviously, there was a diversion. The aircraft, obviously making circuits at a certain stage. Once it did land, it was handed over to the police over there. There were bomb disposal squads which were deployed. So Singapore taking this threat of this bomb threat very, very seriously indeed. This on a day when, if you add up all the numbers, there were 7 flights which were impacted by bomb threats, hoax calls, and there were 3 yesterday. So in a period of less than 48 hours, you've had 10 flights, all Indian airlines, which have been impacted. One of them was an ultra-long-haul flight between New Delhi and Chicago, which had to land at a remote airport in northeast Canada. You've had a flight yesterday between Mumbai and John F. Kennedy Airport in New York, having to divert to Delhi. So it is a very serious concern, and this was as a result of a particular social media account. I believe there was one, there could be more, which was making these very specific threats, naming airlines and particular flights on particular routes. And it's as a result of this that all of the airlines took, precautionary measures and decided that the flights have to land. In some cases, the flights were not on the air, so there were delays. But everybody was very careful about what the overall situation was,
right,
as part of standard procedure. So it is a major concern for airlines financially and otherwise.
Right. Thank you very much, Vishnu, for getting us that report. Switching tracks to some other news now, India begins its series versus New Zealand in Bengaluru on Wednesday with a firm focus on entering the World Test Championship final. Rohit Sharma's men need 3 wins out of 8 test matches from here. But a big setback for them will be not having Mohammad Shami for their next 8 tests. Rohit Sharma made a big reveal on Tuesday that the senior quick bowler's return to international fold might get further delayed after he suffered another recent setback. Let's listen in.
I mean, look, to be honest, right now it's pretty difficult for us to make a call on him whether he'll be fit for this series or Australia series. You know, he recently had a setback. He had a swelling in his knee, which was quite unusual while he was in the process of getting fit, getting close to 100%. He had swelling in his knee. That put him back a little bit in his recovery. So he had to start again fresh. We are keeping our fingers crossed. We want him to be fit. We want him to be 100% fit. So we want to give him enough time to recover and be 100% fit.
Now, Robin Uthappa's Chicago thrashed Atlanta Kings to clinch the maiden NCL 60 strikes title. Chicago's Leonardo Julian was named the player of the match for his exemplary knock of 61 runs. They won by a huge margin of 43 runs in the final of the tournament.
It was a stunning display of power hitting from the Chicago team right from the start. The Master Blaster was in the house to see the evolution of a format he has backed to be in the Olympic Games. After Chris Lynn departed early, Leonardo Julian and Mikel Lewis also contributed heavily with the bat. Lewis hammered a 17-ball 43. Julian notched up 61 in 22 balls to get Chicago to a par score of 160 for 4. Atlanta started strong. Jimmy Nisham scored 29 of 16 balls, but wickets fell at regular intervals. Tom Bruce scored a 21-ball 61. But Chicago put on a dominant display and in the end garnered a 43-run win as well as the championship.
Well, that's all we could pack into this bulletin. Thanks for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Jharkhand and Maharashtra elections were announced by the Election Commission earlier today. Jharkhand will be polled in 2 phases on 13th and 20th of November, while Maharashtra a single phase on the 20th of November. Counting will be on the 23rd. The Election Commission has also rejected Congress's allegations of faulty EVMs. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra to make her electoral debut from Kerala's Wayanad. Congress has fielded Priyanka from Wayanad after Rahul Gandhi has vacated his seat in Kerala. The Mumbai police have arrested one more person in connection with the killing of Baba Siddique. Harish Kumar Balakram is accused of helping with logistics. This as Salman Khan's security has been increased to Y+. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in Pakistan to attend a conclave of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Jaishankar and Pakistan PM Shehbaz Sharif shook hands. This is the first visit by a foreign minister of India to Pakistan in 9 years.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter.
And impact.